nobody just disappears. And that's what makes a situation that seems just that way, that a man just vanished, that more maddening for investigators. They often quit on those cases. And for families, it is agonizing in that unknown. And that's what's going on in Nebraska. Okay. This guy, Tyler Goodrich, 35 years old, gets into a spat with his husband. Okay. They have words. There's an allegation that there was a push. The husband calls the cops. Tyler Goodrich takes off. Why would you take off after just something like that? Who knows? But he takes off and has not been seen for 4 months. The last thing we know is that there was a call as he exited the house, an image that is on a camera that may have been him. The husband is the last one to have seen him. He came home from work, pizza movie night, argument, vanishes. That's it. Now we hear stories that, well, there was a divorce. The husband puts out in December, this happened in November, nasty Facebook post, kind of running his husband down, running his family down too. So those are the facts as we understand them. The police investigation reportedly at a total standstill. The family has turned to private investigators, and they think they have a lead. Let's bring in the sister of Tyler Goodrich, Felice Nicholson, and the...
One moment, you guys. I got to fix something real quick. Guys, please don't forget, since Mama Bear's here now, to jump on over to her side of things. Give me one moment, guys. I have to fix something real fast, and we'll get right back to this. Hold on. And hit the like button over there, subscribe, and notification bell if you have not yet done it. Please and thank you. I'm going to pin it in the chat real quick. Give me one moment. My apologies. Here we go. There's the link. All right. 1 second here. We are pinned. All right, there we go. And like I said, just hop on over if you can. It only takes a second. Hit the notification bell and subscribe if you haven't. And please hit nothing else. Make sure to hit the like button, guys. I really appreciate it. Plus, you can always jump over and keep Mama Bear some company over there. She loves it. All right, guys, back to where we were. Sorry, I didn't do that sooner, Mama Bear. My apologies, dear.
It's okay. I know how you operate.
With one brain cell, is that what you're saying? Yes.
Maybe two.
At least I got two that time. That's awesome. Yeah.
Private investigator searching for Tyler, Eric Rezabak from Brigham Home, Nebraska. Did I get everybody's name right, first of all?
You did, Chris. Thank you.
Felicia. Gotcha. All right. So let's get right to it so you can get the urgency out there. Felicia, what do people want? You want people to know about your brother and whether or not he would have just vanished?
Yeah, my brother Tyler would never have left his family and his friends. And we know that something awful happened to him on November 3rd. And we are...
Yeah, and I want to be honest with you guys, at least on my side of things, before we go through this. I watched this. I've watched the interviews and read an article with Tyler's husband, and I don't think at all after watching the interview that it had anything to do with his husband. I'm sorry, you guys. And it just seems like it was made to be that way. They really put his husband through hell. I think his name's Marshall, right? Hold on. Yeah. Okay. And he's been put through hell over this. And I don't feel that he has anything to do with this. This is me personally. Okay. Everybody has their own feelings on this. Welcome, Lily. Wonderful to see you, dear. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So yeah, and that's kind of what I'm thinking too, Lisa. That's a good point, that they've had to, feels like you have to blame somebody. Okay. And I get that. So again, guys, I'm saying, I don't personally think he had anything to do with this. In some senses, he was really drugged bad for this, in my opinion. I don't think it was necessary. So just take that to heart, or he'll hold that in the back of your head while you're watching some of this stuff. That's all.
We're 4 months into this, Chris, and we don't have a shred of evidence. And we need people to look and think back and to bring answers forward for Tyler.
quick follow, and I know that you're not going to like this, but we have to give people, you have to answer people's questions. People are going to say, okay, well,
Exactly, Arctic. Thank you. That's why it's important to let the facts come out and do not over speculate with this. I'm just trying to show you guys who we're talking about. Here's who we're talking about right here, okay? And what the update is on this. And then from there, that's what we need to do. Like Arctic said, is let the facts come out, let law enforcement do their job, figure this out, and we'll go from there.
good chance he did this to himself. The husband's post on Facebook suggested that he may have had some issues, and maybe he had mental health issues. And who else would run out of the house this way in the middle of the night? He probably did something to himself, if anything happened at all. Do you believe that that's where your brother, his head and his heart were?
I don't believe that, not for a second, Chris. Anybody that knew Tyler knew that his friends and his family came first. He would never have harmed himself and left those kids, left his friends, and left his family like we are today.
Okay, Eric.
Okay, now that's we don't need to go through that whole interview, guys. I just wanted you guys to kind of get the gist of this. Hold on, my dogs are flipping out for some reason. And we'll go to one moment here. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I wish I had better editing skills and I could do certain things a little bit better. We're getting there. I can't seem to find it, guys. I was trying to show you another piece of a podcast that was put out. It had an interview with his husband, and I can't find the exact one that I want because I don't want this to come out and be biased to one side. I want you guys to be able to see this. Hold on. God, every time there's a bump, they flip out. Hold on. I'm looking. Exactly, JC. Welcome to Kim. CLK Creations in the house. Thank you for joining us. If we could put CLK's link in the chat, guys, I would really appreciate that.
Yeah, because I don't think I even have her link.
I had it, but I can't grab it right now because I'm trying to find this. 1 second here.
Hey, CLK, put your link in the chat for me, please. Hi, JC. Hi, Arctic. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Lily Moon. Who else is in here? Hi, CZ. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Sunday Doodles. Hiya, Stormy. If you're still in here, looks like you left. Hi, Lacey and Paula. Hiya, In Stitches. Hi, Bonnie, hun. How are you feeling today?
That's right, Arctic. Thank you, bud. I can't find this. Lisa, Arctic,
Thank you, Arctic.
I'm looking for the interview that Marissa did from Vanished, and I can't find it in here. Did they take it down? You guys know? That's the one that I watched. Stitches, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for, Lisa. I can't find it in here. Every other channel, you guys, and it's really sad. Most other channels, they come in and they title it Tyler Goodrich vanishes after fight with husband, and then they drag his husband, and that's not how this looks to me. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. Okay, well, you know what? We'll just go from there, and I'll give you guys the update on this thing because I don't want to put out any more. Welcome back, CLK. I don't want to put out any more anything that could make him look bad at this because it's just, in my opinion, that's not how it looks to me. So we'll just go with the new stuff then.
Hiya, Peaky. Lisa said she can link the podcast episode.
Yeah, if you want to, you can. If you can, that's fine, Lisa. If you can give it to me in Discord or something, that would be easier.
Hiya, Trish Cat Crap. Got all twisted on that one. Trish Crow. I think I almost called you Trish Cow. Sorry. Right. Let me copy this and then put it in the back chat. Oh. That doesn't look right. Hold on. There. Now let me see. There, that looks better. It's in the back chat. Oh, goodness.
Okay, hold on. My granddaughter just ran in. Here we go. All right, let's check this out real quick. Thank you, Lisa. That's awesome. All right, just to give you guys an insight into the other side of this too, because they didn't really do that anywhere else. So, okay.
Hello, Cap. And anybody that just came in, if you want to come over to my side, the link is pinned at the top of Dago's chat.
All right, hang on one second, Mama Bear. I gotta fix something and we'll be ready to roll.
Okie doke. How you doing, Cap? Yeah, Critical. We covered her at least once, if not twice. And hello.
All right, everybody. I'm sorry. There was an issue I had to deal with my granddaughter. So there we go. All
She's
right.
an angel.
Check this out real quick. Let me know if the audio is okay. Welcome, Critical. Good to. I did Critical. I covered
We have
Emily Pike the
found
other
no
day.
sign of Tyler since he went missing. It's so hard. We have nothing to go off of, where to search or why we're searching the areas that we are searching.
Nobody came forward saying
Sorry,
that
hold
they've seen him from that night or anything. Of course, some people have seen people of resemblance at stores that they have called in saying they think he's here, he's there, but it's never turned up to actually be him.
It's astonishing in our digital world to not find anything that will help us bring Tyler home or figure out what happened. It's unbelievable.
On November 3rd, 2023, 35-year-old Tyler Goodrich spent the day at work and stopped by a Costco store on the way home to pick up some pizza. Tyler was seen on camera there, smiling. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary.
And I have to agree with you, Arctic. For as long as they went looking for him, the time they put into looking for him, to find him 1,000 feet from his home doesn't make any absolute sense to me whatsoever. None. Knowing the way that searches are done, it made me wonder, was he brought back there after a period of time, possibly? Do you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that made sense with that. How does that happen? Truly. Like that's weird to me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. By the way, Mama Bear, JC wanted to know if she could join us for a little bit up here today, to talk about something too. Is that okay with you?
Of course, yeah.
I figured. I just wanted to make sure everything was good. So, one moment. 1,000 yards. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. But yeah, and it just doesn't. And they said that he's been there long term. It doesn't make sense to me. It almost reminds me of this. The Timmy D's Arctic, the same situation with him. You know what I mean? I don't know. Something's not right. I just don't. It doesn't seem right to me at all. All right, JC, hold on, and I'll give you a link here. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and let this. Do you want me to get? Do you know where they have it at on here, Lisa? If I can get to that.
The plan that night was to go to his home in Lincoln, Nebraska, eat some pizza, and watch a movie with his husband and one of their sons. However, things didn't go as planned. Tyler and his husband Marshall had a discussion that some have characterized as a disagreement or argument.
And that makes even less sense. He was in a tree. What? Come on, guys. Right, Paula. How do you get up in a tree? And again, it's all weird to me. It's very strange. And for that long of a period of a time? Come on.
The topic of conversation that night was divorce. Marshall recorded that discussion on his phone, and when things began to escalate, Marshall called the police. While Marshall was speaking to a dispatcher, someone was recorded on a household camera running out of the garage. Many believe that this was Tyler, while others say they can't be certain because the footage is too grainy. After that time, Tyler Goodrich was never seen or heard from again. I'm Marissa, and from Wondery, this is episode 433 of The Vanished, Tyler Goodrich's story.
We went to Bennett Elementary and then Palmyra Junior Senior.
I'm going to try to find the interview with Marshall so we don't have to go through all that other stuff. You guys just hang with me.
Especially close bond.
I met
And was always looking to grow and better him more career opportunities.
Skills program.
Tyler and Marshall lived in Omaha, but both of their families were back in the Lincoln area.
All of this because Udi in the family, right in the living room. And then both of our family, Tyler and I, we actually
In college, Western Governors University. They do.
Okay, I think I got it. Welcome, JC. Thank you for joining us, hon. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
You sound great.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
You want
JC.
me to play
Hi.
this first, or do you want to say whichever you want to say or anything before that?
Go ahead and play it.
Okay. Sounds good. I think this is it. I think I hit the spot here.
The
Hold on.
master's degree program. He was sure proud of that. And he made sure the minute he completed that last online class that he sent me a note. His role right now was around working with grants and helping inmates kind of reacclimate to the community. So his job title was vocational and life skills program manager.
It was about 8 years ago that Tyler locked eyes with someone while out at a bar one night, and the two instantly clicked. Here's Tyler's husband, Marshall, with more about how the two met.
Tyler and I, we actually met at a bar here in Lincoln. I was walking out to the patio. I walked by him and we made eye contact, and that was kind of it for us. It was not a glamorous meeting or anything crazy like that. We started dating pretty much right after that. So we have been together for 8 years, married for 6. Tyler and I, we eloped. We got married at our house in Omaha, right in the living room. And then both of our families were upset because we didn't have a wedding. And so then several months later, we ended up having a big reception that all of our family came to and all of that. But we eloped, and both sides of our family said, nope, that's not going to work. And then I got to plan a party, and Tyler, he's the foodie in the family. And so he got to plan what we ate that day.
For a period of time, Tyler and Marshall lived in Omaha, but both of their families were back in the Lincoln area. So they eventually moved to Lincoln and settled on a larger property there where they could have animals.
Kind of a little timeline. We originally lived in Lincoln, and my job I had at the time was in Omaha. After years of commuting, an hour each way, we moved to Omaha. We bought a house up there, and we lived there for right about 2 years. And then we decided that we needed and wanted to be back in Lincoln because Tyler's family is out in the Bennett area, and my family is here in Lincoln. And so we decided to move back. We got the opportunity to buy the property that we're at now. We knew that it was kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity. We ended up going out to the acreage. We have animals. We have miniature horses and goats, all sorts of stuff.
Both Tyler and Marshall had always dreamed of having a family someday, and it was during the pandemic that they decided to take steps to make that dream a reality.
We always wanted kids. We just kind of knew that that was the next step in our marriage. And then we started the foster program here in Nebraska during COVID. So we did all of everything online, and we would sit in Tyler's office for just hours doing these classes and just kind of knowing that we're putting in all of this work and we're going to end up making our family. And then we got a call from our caseworker that said we could have a 14-year-old at your house in 3 hours. And so Tyler and I, we talked about it, and we said, okay, this is it. That was kind of the end of it. I'll never forget, though, we asked him where he wanted to go for dinner that night, and he said Runza. And so we're sitting at...
Welcome, Cap. Sorry to hear that, bud, but thank you for being here, brother.
The random Runza table, and I kind of teared up, and both him and Tyler kind of looked at me, and they were both, you could tell they were making fun of me. But it was kind of at that moment, I knew that we had our family. There was definitely kind of an adjustment period, I think, for all of us. We all kind of had to figure out how life was gonna be and go. All of a sudden, you're signing up for different camps, for sporting events, and, making sure that they're at school and getting good grades, and all of that was definitely an adjustment, but it was our new normal. and it was amazing. It was a large family. There were 5 siblings total, and we were lucky enough. We adopted 2 of the siblings, and then there's another foster family that lives right outside of town that adopted the other 3.
Stephanie had known Tyler since they were basically babies, and she developed a friendship with Marshall as well once Tyler and Marshall had become a couple.
I definitely got along with Marshall. Yeah, I get along with him great, and we were friends also. It seemed like a really great relationship. They even adopted 2 boys. They both really wanted kids, especially Tyler. They even thought about there could be like for a baby, but then they decided that there are plenty of kids out there that need a home. They are both really great parents, very active in the kids' life.
Felicia said that Tyler was living your average 30-something dad kind of life. He worked hard during the week and spent his free time doing stuff with the kids.
The Monday through Friday, I would say it was pretty traditional with working, and they have animals at their house, so taking care of chores, of course, making sure the boys get to all of their activities and schoolwork, big social network. I know his weekends were regularly filled with going out on runs or get-togethers with friends. He was a big marathon runner. At least once a month we have a get-together to celebrate the birthdays. Traditionally on Wednesdays we get together for anyone that's available, and we call it a Wine Wednesday, and it's just a quick touch point during the week and see the kids, catch up on things. We try to get to all the nieces and nephews' sporting events when we can. So we see each other often. And, we all live within about 20 minutes of each other, so that makes it pretty easy too.
As the years wore on, cracks in the foundation of Tyler and Marshall's relationship started to show. Amanda said that they had their ups and downs, just like everyone does in a long-term relationship, but they loved each other deeply.
I mean, I would definitely say they had their struggles. They had their ups and downs. Both of them struggled with their own issues coming into the relationship. I know they both eventually dealt with their issues. And I think at that point is when their relationship actually seemed to be a little more healthy of a relationship. But they've always seemed to love each other. They definitely have like a weird banter between each other as far as how they like show their love. But Tyler cared for Marshall regardless, so he was going to be there through thick and thin with Marshall.
For Marshall, the weight of the stressors in their relationship began to become too heavy for him to bear, and that's when he began to contemplate divorce.
We had a lot of things happen over the last several years. We adopted our oldest son and then ended up adopting our youngest. My dad passed away. We moved onto an acreage. We just had a lot of things, a lot of big life events that happened. It was hard and it strained our relationship, and we were headed for divorce. That was what was going to happen. But just because our relationship was ending in that way doesn't mean that we weren't going to be part of each other's lives literally forever, because I think we both knew and know that we love each other. It just, a lot of stuff happened at once, and our relationship wasn't going to make it through in that way, but we were still going to be part of each other's lives. We both, I think, wanted the best for each other. It just wasn't us being together. It was me that was initiating the divorce, especially after my dad passed away. I realized just how short and fragile life is, and I wanted us to be happy. I wanted to be happy. And where we were at, I don't think either of us were happy when we really think about it. I think, we both probably wanted to save it. Well, we both did. We both wanted to. When you get married, you never say, oh, we're probably going to get a...
That's exactly why I think he ran from the house, because he didn't want to get in any more trouble, because it was warned that Marshall was going to call the police. Common sense. I mean, it just makes sense to me. Okay. And I honestly, you guys, I've thought about this before. I still don't think Marshall had anything to do with this. The theory I came to, because of the way he was, especially now that, the way they say he was found, is a possible hate crime. Okay. That's something that I thought is a very big possibility with this, at least in my opinion. So I'm just saying, that's how I look at this possibly. I just don't think that Marshall had anything to do with this. Is it in this podcast, Lisa? I'll look for that too. Thank you, dear.
The divorce. No, you want it to last, and you want it to last forever. It just kind of wasn't in the cards for us. We had kind of talked about the whole process, how this was going to work, and we wanted to keep it as normal for the boys as possible. I don't think we truly landed on
it. May be in the update
of it, on how everything was going to work.
Several days before Tyler's disappearance, it was Halloween. Felicia said that their family had a get-together with all of the kids, and everything with Tyler seemed normal.
The last time I saw Tyler in person was at our family's Halloween party, and all of the siblings and all of the nieces and nephews come together and dress up and open piñatas. And Tyler comes into the living room, and my youngest nephew, and he comes up to him and tickles him and gets them all worked up and laughing, and just always someone who brought a lot of energy everywhere he went. He was in good spirits. The boys were in good spirits. Marshall was in good spirits. I actually had texted Tyler that night that he went missing. We had a friend of a friend who had mentioned to me that they had went to a Halloween party and dressed up as a Village People. So I said, I need to see a picture of that. That ended up being the last time that I ever communicated with him.
To make Marshall feel better about it. And then on the other hand, when Marshall's not giving in, then he, of course, was going to make agreements with Marshall on how to move forward in the best of their abilities as parents to their two boys. Tyler had told us, it might have been Friday or Thursday after he told us about the divorce. I mean, he told us that he had agreed to let Marshall stay in the house with the boys and that Tyler was willing to go move somewhere else. So he was trying to make it easier on Marshall. He was willing to take the brunt of everything, and you can stay there with the boys and I will find a place and do what I need to do.
Stephanie had also seen Tyler at volleyball.
And then we headed over to him.
With the operator,
Who doesn't love the good things in life? Even though I enjoy a little luxury, it doesn't mean I can always afford it. Until I discovered Quince. Quince is my go-to for luxury essentials.
Okay, that's a commercial. It won't let me get to that. Hold on.
At affordable prices. Quince offers a range of high-quality items at prices within reach, like 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50, washable silk tops and dresses, organic cotton sweaters, and 14-karat gold jewelry. The best part, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. One of my favorite things is that Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices in premium fabrics and finishes. I love that. I treated myself to a leather jacket from Quince. It's both stylish and comfortable. I've gotten so many compliments on it. Give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/vanished for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/vanished to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/vanished. This message is sponsored by Greenlight. Who taught you about money? Was it your parents, your school? Let's be honest, most of us learned about saving and budgeting way later than we should have. But here's the good news. You can give your kids a head start with Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit.
Okay, so we're just going to go forward to just to give the update on what has happened since, because it's a lot there. But like I said, again, just to give you guys a little insight, because a lot of people didn't know about this case, I found out, which is sad to me. Excuse me. Hold on here. Okay.
They've remained hopeful. They've remained hopeful they will find closure. Channel 8's Emma Norwood joins us live with the details on the suspicious death investigation and what comes next. Emma?
Mackenzie, it will be another couple of days before we get any answers after a body was found here this morning. The Lancaster County Sheriff's Office says an autopsy is scheduled for Monday. Tonight, the investigation into the disappearance of Tyler Goodrich is now focused here in this wooded area at the northwest corner of Highway 77 and West Pioneers Boulevard. The Lancaster County Sheriff's Office is investigating a suspicious death. It comes after an individual walking their dog discovered human remains this morning.
We are working it as suspicious, but not as a homicide. It looks like it has been here for over a year.
Tyler went missing in early November of 2023. That and the location has investigators looking to see if there's any connection to the case.
We have been in contact with Tyler Goodrich's family.
Take a look at this map. You can see how close the scene is to Tyler's last known location, which is his home near Southwest 12th and Burnham Streets. We're talking under half a mile.
We are not identifying 100.
That's really wild to me. I mean, we've seen other cases where people have been found close to their home. But it's such a long time, and it's like, wow, how did you guys miss this? I mean, up in a tree. Okay. I get that. Not everybody looks up when you're looking for somebody. You don't look up in trees. That's not a typical place to look for somebody that goes missing, guys. Especially an adult, that's the thing. So I can get that. It's definitely strange. I'll say that much.
Dago,
Yes, ma'am.
I think there was another guy in Missouri a while ago that was found in a tree. It was one of the first cases I ever heard of. His name was Tanner Ward.
What was it again, hon?
Tanner Ward.
I know, I've heard the name. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he
definitely.
was found in a tree too. I don't know how long he'd been missing, but yeah.
That's a good point too. Lisa just made that's why I wonder if he was higher up than expected, which very well could have been in a part, depending on the type of tree too. You know what I mean?
I heard it was a pine tree.
And that's what I was just getting ready to say. Pine trees, they're very full. You don't see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to see things within a pine tree like that, so on and so forth. And if you're up there.
And I can just say, Dago, like I went searching for this man myself.
Mm-hmm.
And where we were searching was out in the country, we were searching, miles away.
Yeah.
But I can say, like, as a first time searcher, like
Mhm.
I wasn't looking, I was looking in the brush, man. I was, you
Right.
know what I mean? I was looking in the bodies of water, like in the, I wasn't necessarily looking up.
And that's what I'm saying. How often do people look up in trees when you're searching for somebody? It's just not a regular thing.
I
So
mean, they told us to look up, look down, look left, look right, but you don't always.
Mhm.
y-
If I'm
know.
told to look up, I'm going to look up like on the roof of a house or on a
Yeah.
garage or a shed or something like that. I'm not going to
Yeah.
look up inside of a tree because it's not the first thought that comes to mind. And that's probably why I'm going to guess. And we heard him say he looks like it's been there a year or more.
I wonder if he climbed. I'm wondering if he climbed the tree
He could have. He very well could have.
and then just didn't get down or couldn't get down.
He could have climbed the tree just, to think. Some people do strange things if they need to think. Or he could have been hiding. If he took off running from the house, think about this. He took off running from the house thinking that the police were going to get called. And that, like Lisa said, he was on probation, this and that and everything else. He didn't want to get in any more trouble. And
I don't know if he was on probation though. Has that been set? Like,
I think Lisa said that he was, let me back up and find it. Hold on. I'm sorry.
'Cause I thought his probation was over, like his charges were dropped and
hold on here. It might have rolled out already, but here we goes. She said, okay, assume because Marshall called the police. This is him running from the house and he was on probation. So I don't know for 100%. But then again, even if he wasn't, he didn't want to get back in any more trouble. Do you know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right, yeah.
a good place to hide. I know it sounds a little wild, folks, but think about that. If you know the police, you think the police are coming, you go up inside of a pine tree, they're not going to look for you there. that's probably a good theory right there, that he was hiding in a tree to stay out of trouble. I'll get that. What happened after that, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean too with that. And there's that too. That does make some sense. There's a stipulation where there was some stipulation where he would have been effed and lose his job. So that's another one. Okay. And if he thinks police are coming, he could be thinking this is, I'm screwed now, so on and so forth. That's a good point too. Arctic brings up police missing Melissa Witt's car at the Bowling World parking lot for days until getting a call from them. Exactly. Yeah. And they had her keys. So that's something else too. Think about how that was missed, you guys. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We don't know, when things are chaotic, think about that. This was a chaotic situation at this point. Everybody was flipping out, looking for him, going here, going there. Things happen, you can't truly just and I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but you can't really look at law enforcement and say, do your job. You screwed this up, blah, 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 in this situation. Because that's not a typical place that you're going to look for somebody in this type of a situation. It wasn't that big of a deal. They had a disagreement, so on and so forth, and he took off running. Well, then he turns into a missing person. I don't know what went down, and we're going to find that out eventually, I hope, what actually happened within the tree itself and so on and so forth. Like I said before, at first I thought the possibility of a hate crime or something like that. I don't think that Marshall had anything to do with that situation. How is that going to happen? Think about that for a minute. Anybody that thinks that he could have, did you climb a tree, force this guy up a tree and do something to him? Come on. That just doesn't match with me at all. So
yeah, I never really truly thought that Marshall had anything to do with it either. I had questions, but I never really went beyond that.
Right.
I never really completely suspected him, I guess.
No, and Lisa's right with the rest of that podcast that he talks about how angry they were because at him, to go looking, making them all go look for him and this and that, and how upset they were because of being scared for him and things like that. You know what I mean? You can hear the emotion in his voice, and it doesn't match to me. It just doesn't. That's what I'm saying. That's the other side of it. How would you have killed him after you called police and he runs away? Come on. These are just common sense things.
They also don't know if that 100% that's him on the video, but it's, I mean, I think it is. Everyone, a lot of people think it is, but they said they don't know for sure because it's too grainy, but
right.
It makes sense that it is anyway.
It does clearly.
Yeah, Kim said that if he didn't want a divorce, maybe he took pills to unalive himself.
It could be. There's a lot of possible things, but I'm just going to wait and hope that we're going to get some kind of results back from the remains and see what they come up with. And that way, Arctic made a statement back here a little bit. He does have kids, and I'm sure that they watch this stuff and see this stuff. So I don't want to put out anything that would be something
harm the kids.
Yeah, upset them. They've already been through enough, in my opinion. So
yeah,
that's a fact. So hold on a minute. If it isn't him, then Tyler was dead in the house when police arrived, and Marshall is a criminal mastermind. Right. And that just doesn't make sense to put somebody up a tree, folks.
Yeah.
This is an adult male. You'd have to, can you understand?
He wasn't a small guy.
No, that's what I'm saying. How would you do that? You strap somebody to your back, climb a tree way up, do what you did, and then jump down and no. What? Come on. Yeah. I mean, this is just, I don't know. I just don't believe it. That's all. Everybody has the right to their feelings and this and that, and I respect all that. But I'm going to wait and see what law enforcement comes back with truly once we get through all this and listen to what they have to say, and we'll go from there, guys. I just wanted to give an update that they found what they found, so on and so forth. But it is, again, it's a very strange situation. That's fact, first and foremost. So
It's like you have questions and then you get an answer and then you have more questions.
And sometimes the answers that you give cause more questions than fulfill the answer. I agree.
100% who the individual is. We still have some investigations portions and the autopsy to go at this point in time.
LSO Chief Deputy Ben Houchin says the investigation isn't slowing down.
We always work everything like it's a possible homicide until we can prove that it's not. We again feel very confident it is not, but we have our crime scene techs out here working the scene.
Authorities have been able to confirm that the body is male, and they say they will have more details once that autopsy report comes back. For now, reporting live in Lincoln, Emma Norwood, Channel 8.
Okay, hold on
They
here.
said that they're treating it as suspicious rather than homicide at this point.
Well, and that's the other thing.
Until the autopsy comes back, that's kind of what they
Yes.
have
Yeah.
to go by. Or should go by.
There's something that they found at the scene where they found him that gives them the okay to go ahead and say certain things from that. When they're saying that they don't see anything that makes them believe it's a homicide, that's in my opinion because of how they found the scene. There's something there that says that to them, or they wouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? So that's my feelings on that.
I was just gonna say, like, that's why we shouldn't speculate and blame people.
Right.
I mean, let's take a lesson in another case. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's a few.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few. Yes, Mama Bear, what were you saying?
No, I was just agreeing with JC.
Right. I mean, that's the whole point right there, because we could sit here and talk about speculative theory all the time, say something, and then it comes back that that's not it. And if somebody hears that could really hurt them, and that's not good. So, not to mention, there's a few other things that came through too, and I know that they're inadmissible, and a lot of people think they're junk science and all this other stuff, but Marshall did pass a polygraph.
I was just gonna say he did pass a poly test.
He was very cooperative. All of those things. There's that too. So, not saying that means everything. I'm just saying, take that into account.
But then they did say that he went uncooperative because he lawyered up.
Well, that after what they started doing to him, you know what I'm saying? The way he was, I would have too. You got to protect yourself. I agree with that.
I just hope the autopsy gives answers and law enforcement gets it right, and we get the correct answers and the correct justice for Tyler, because
yes, yep, that's right. And like Lisa said, he did that against the advice of his attorney, but wanted to prove his innocence, of course, and I don't blame him. Marshall Paula is Tyler's husband.
And who knows if they were, they weren't divorced yet. Like, who knows if they were?
It may not have happened.
Because the way Marshall makes me feel is like the moment Tyler went missing was the moment he wanted to save his marriage. You know what I mean?
That happens a lot too in relationships. You guys understand that, people get to a point in relationships where we're done with this. I'm tired of this and that and everything else. Because you take for granted what the situation is. You take for granted what you have, and we're done. That's it. I'm done. I want a divorce until something happens and it brings you back together. I've seen that happen so many times in relationships.
Well, yeah, I have a couple friends that have been married and got divorced, and they're either married again or still together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course. Not every situation turns out like the creature and I. That was the best situation for divorce you'll ever see in your life. I promise you that. So never ever would you go back to that situation. And Sunday Doodles is right with saying then someone takes that speculation and turns it into factual, which can spread to something else and get drug across and turn into something else. And again, we've seen this in other cases, big time. So it's not worth it. For the sake of his family and his kids, it's best to just hold off, see what we get back from law enforcement, and then we can talk about it from there. That's the best point. I just truly wanted to share that update. show people what I was talking about, because some people have no idea who Tyler Goodrich was, sadly, and then go from there. So, but thank you guys for all the input too. I appreciate that. And hopefully they come back and they give, it's going to be sad either way, what possible cause of death and so on and so forth. But
I mean, I just know like how I'm feeling about it. And I wasn't, like super close. I wasn't obviously super close to Tyler at all, but like I helped search for the guy. I know his friends and family.
Sure.
And I just know how bad I'm feeling about it. Like I can't imagine how bad they're feeling about it.
Absolutely. And I thank you for helping to search for him. That's awesome that you're able to do
I mean,
that.
I did a very, very small part. But I don't know.
Yeah, but anything that you
little
do
bit
to help
helps.
safety absolutely helps. It doesn't matter what it is. That's a fact.
And Tyler was found within a year, but there's been, others around here that haven't been found for years.
Right. Absolute truth.
And there's also been people missing for years that have turned up found safe and alive. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I know how bad I feel about this whole situation.
Oh, I can imagine. Anything you're personally involved in is going to Doodlebug has been involved in multiple, like personally involved in multiple situations, and felt absolutely horrified, with the outcome. And that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with. And she did that for a living, she does it now, but still. And so, yeah, you gotta realize what that can make you feel like. You know what I'm saying? Personally involving yourself in something to try to help, and then the outcome is horrible. That's just not a good feeling, And I feel so bad for her.
I can't imagine actually knowing the person,
That's
like when they were alive. You know what I mean? Like,
when Donna I went missing last year, Doodle took off immediately looking for her. She knew her. She knew the family. Knows the family. I'm sorry. And then the outcome was what it was. I mean, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You put yourself out. She went, Doodle, she's not unhealthy. I don't want to say that, but she's got a couple medical problems that, being outdoors for long periods of time and things like that, they can affect you. And she went on and on and pushed herself to find us live with, letting everybody know what she was doing, so on and so forth. And then eventually the outcome was what it was. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrifying. And it'll break your heart completely.
It's just crazy how accidents can happen to, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
How you don't, you got to be careful of what you do, because it could end up, really, really bad.
Yes, ma'am. That's absolute truth. And in life, this we only get one life. Okay.
I mean, do you ever think of like all the crazy stuff you did and you're like, how did I come out of there alive?
I've had that conversation here before. 100%. Many of things that I've done. I
mean, I think about all the stuff we did like in college, and I'm like, oh my God, like that could have been really bad.
I used to go into burning houses and people are running out of them. So you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
There's that. And when
before you were fire and EMS?
No. When I was doing that, I'm just saying, like that's crazy in itself to do that. But before that, I was a wild kid, a teenager. I would go out to the Nelson's Ledges and jump off of cliffs and do things like I very possibly could not have made it through that.
I always thought my grandma was crazy for being like, "Oh, you don't need to be doing that." And I'm like, "Oh, grandma, it's no big deal." Now that I'm older, I'm like, that was a big deal.
We think we're indestructible when we're younger, for sure. Okay. Yeah. I know I did. I thought nothing could stop me. And there's a place, like I said, we used to go called Nelson's Ledges, and we would jump the cliffs. I mean, guys, these are like 250-foot drop. Okay. Big stuff. We dive off the cliffs into the quarry, into the water. That's stupid. That is so stupid thinking about it. You wouldn't even get me close to the edge on that now, or even up there. I would never climb up there anymore. And a friend of mine tried to jump between the cliffs one time, and he slipped, and just like in the cartoons, he hits the side and slides down. Of course, he broke his shoulder and his arm. I was going to do it after him. Thank God I didn't. But you don't do things like that. You know what I mean? It's common sense. A lot of us didn't have that when we were teenagers. So it is what it is. And thank God that we all made it through some of the crazy things we did back then. I agree with you.
Especially like driving over like snowbanks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because I remember a few years ago, my dad and my stepmom and I went out and drove around and looked at Christmas lights, and there was I mean, we had a huge snow, and there was a huge snowbank, and my dad, and we were kind of being crazy and stuff, and my dad got to this one snowbank, and he's like, and he just stopped the pickup, and he's like, I ain't doing that. He's like, maybe I would have 10 years ago, but not now.
Right. Guys, I mean, I used to be a skateboarder. Okay. The shit that I did as a skateboarder. Nope. No. I should have broke my neck multiple times. I came close a couple times, but I didn't, luckily, grace of God, in my opinion, I had a guardian angel for a lot of different things. And, some people just don't get that lucky, sadly.
Yeah. My brother was a skateboarder.
Well, some of the dumb shit that skateboarders do.
They're crazy. They're crazy.
Now looking back at it, it's like, what was I doing? And my son, my youngest one, started skateboarding. I'm like, no. So you can do your street skating stuff, but you ain't doing this or that. You don't want to do that. So, and I agree. You just shake your head at yourself now, like, why? And like I said, when we're young, we think we're indestructible. When you become our age now, you look back and you're going, that should have killed me. That could have killed me. That would have really hurt me. That if I'd have done this, that, and this, and that. And you're like, why did I ever do it? And so now, I did a lot of things. I used to jump on trains and take them from one side of town to the other. Do you know how many times I thought afterwards, like I could have been pulled under the train and killed, but I wasn't. Give me 1 second, Mama Bear, if you don't mind. All right, you guys, I'm sorry. That was Mrs. Dago. She was not home and had a bit of an issue I had to help her with. So my apologies, everyone. Anyway, where were we at, guys? Sorry to interrupt. Is everybody still here?
I'm here. It's just amazing to me, like, how many accidents there really are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it makes me wonder, like, for people that have been missing for a long time and there's no sign of them, there's no sign of them, like Chance Engelbert, like Ryan Larson, like Jason Jolkowski, like they could still seriously all still be accidents.
Jason's case, I just don't get on. I don't understand Jason's case at all. I'll be
It's
honest.
weird. It's weird, Dago. It's weird.
There's
It's
nothing
here in Omaha too, and it's weird.
It doesn't make any sense. There's no way in hell that this kid went missing. We just covered that this past week, you guys. Jason Gold.
Yeah. And he was a big guy too. He wasn't small. He was over 6 foot.
Yeah, and at this point, I think somebody within that neighborhood grabbed him and pulled him into a house. That's my theory at this point, because there's nothing that points to anything else. Not even that.
I come to that conclusion a lot, though.
I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I don't know.
Mhm.
Mama Bear, do you remember that one? Were you here when we covered that one? Is she here?
She is, but I don't know if she is.
She's
I'm
not
here.
muted.
What
There
was
you are.
the name again?
The Jason Jolkowski cold case we covered last week. I think it was Thursday or Friday. Out of Nebraska, he just went missing. He went to walk to work and was supposed to meet his coworker at the school
to give him a ride to work.
Yeah, and he didn't even get that far. The cameras caught nothing, and so it happened right within the area that he left from his home. He took his garbage cans back and started to walk and disappeared. That one. So yeah, that makes no sense. None at all.
I never even heard. I'm here, and I never even heard about it until I got into this true crime stuff, and I was like, "What?" And so I started, obviously looking into it, and it's weird. And it's been since 2001, I think.
Yeah, it is, and it didn't have any kind of airplay or any kind of news put out on it. I had to dig to find that one, and there's nothing on it other than that.
No,
it's sad. It's very sad. So these things happen on a regular basis, big time, and it's crazy. It is crazy to me.
Yeah, like you think someone snatched them up, but then it comes out to be an accident.
But in that, how the hell could you, like, in your neighborhood?
I don't know.
That you're walking down the street, you just poof, you're gone.
Yeah, I don't know.
The way Jason was, I could see somebody yelling out the door like, "Help, I'm stuck," or "I need help here," and him running over based on what his parents have explained to him to try to help them, and somebody pulling him in a house and locking it down. That's how I can see that happening with him.
Yeah.
Person, just saying that's, and to be pulled into a car or attacked on the street in the middle of the day, in the middle of a residential neighborhood, nobody saw anything
in the summertime.
Right. Everybody's outside then. It made no sense to me. That's why I'm floored with that case. So
yeah, it's weird.
Very much so. Okay, guys.
And I'm still just gonna go with Sebastian was lured out of his house.
Yeah, that's kind of where I've been with that too at this point. Until we get something new on it, right?
Yeah.
That's another in Summer's case.
Summer's a little different.
I can't come to a comfortable place with her case.
Oh, I can't either.
I've looked at it inside out, upside down, backwards and forwards. Mama Bear, we all have, okay? And I can't come to a comfortable decision as to what I think could have happened to that little girl. I think it's possible because of the way the dogs tracked her, that she went down that hill possibly, or went out that door and saw something or somebody and headed that way and was grabbed, taken to a vehicle on the road and took off. That's my most comfortable theory with what happened to Summer. I'll put it that way.
And it's still not comfortable.
It's not. It's really not. It's just the most comfortable thing I could find. You know what I mean? Because everybody, the way we are with this stuff, guys, and with what we do, we want answers. We want to know. It's just normal. You know, we want to know what could have happened. And we don't get those answers, so we have to come up with our own at some time, you know, and try to make them make sense. So
We are such impatient humans.
well, within this, it's understandable because you want people to be okay. You want justice for people. You want missing kids to come home.
Yeah.
You want to know that things are okay so that you can go and move on with your day. At least that's how I feel. Move on with your day, knowing that there was unjust in the world that was fixed. I know it sounds dumb, but oh, somebody's got feedback really bad. I know it sounds dumb, but I mean, that's the way my brain works, you know? So I don't know. That one that Mama Bear and I were both kind of obsessed with. I never say the last name right.
I say which one?
Is it Doherty or Doherty?
Sean Daughtry.
Daughtry. There, I always get it wrong. Anyway, Sean Daughtry's case. I there's nothing comfortable I can come to a conclusion on with that one, other than at least to me, it's evident that somebody killed that little boy. He didn't take his own life. There's no way. Okay. And when you look at it, the end result comes out, but that's what he did. No, he didn't. He couldn't have. Not the way they found him. I'm sorry. And that's why I get so frustrated with these.
That's why I say, like, with this autopsy, I just hope that it gives the correct answers.
Yes.
And Ellie comes to the correct conclusion, unlike Delphi. I just have nightmares over Delphi. Like, Delphi, nothing makes sense. Nothing.
It doesn't. I agree with you.
To me, anyway. It might to some people, but not to me.
And I feel like some of these cases, it's just very disheartening because you don't feel like the victims get true justice when things like certain things happen in certain cases, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of us are here, because you want to see these victims get the real justice, you know, and their families, of course. And I just don't feel in Delphi that those girls got real justice, or their families. That's my opinion. There's people that disagree, and there's people that think that they got their man. It's done. True justice has happened, and I respect that wholeheartedly. I do. I don't see it. That's all. So, that case was BS all the way around. Are you talking about Daughtry? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
I've heard of it, but I don't know the complete details.
3 times, right, Mama Bear? Roughly.
Mm-hmm. Do
I think we covered it like 3 times, didn't we? We went back to it 3 times, I should say, at least.
Probably. I mean, it's been
JC, I think you were around. It's been a while. They found the little boy hanging from a swing set in his backyard by
next month will be 3 years.
3 years, yeah. Okay. So they found him hanging up of a string from like a pool string bag.
Yeah.
But his hands were at his sides, and he had a belt wrapped around them, tightened so tight that the medic could barely get it undone. And he was just kind of slouched there from the swing. I hate to say it like this because it's very hard to hear, but that's how they found it. And that, to me, you couldn't have taken your own life. You just couldn't. Your hands are not even usable. So explain that. You know what I mean?
Did they deem it a self-unaliving?
Yes, they did.
Oh my! The
belt was wrapped around his waist so tight that it actually cut off the circulation to his hands.
And his hands were on his sides, JC. Like Frank, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just like my professor that was found bound and burned to a tree, and they deemed it a self-unaliving.
Right. I
Crazy.
agree. I do. I agree. It's weird. You don't.
There's a lot more. But
How do you look at that situation and say that, though? And there's also military. The parents were military, and there were some other things in the background that were going on. And I think, you know, you look at this and go, was this left alone on purpose because of something else that came out? Maybe, I don't know, but it was just, the whole thing was weird. He was wearing his father's shirt, and just there's a lot to it. We're gonna have to go back and revisit. Yes, in his underwear. That was strange. We probably should revisit that one again just to get it out there again, because it's so strange, you know.
I've heard of it, but then
Yeah,
again, I've heard of so many that I don't.
Ellen Greenberg
remember.
case is another one that makes no sense.
But
Yeah, and that's
she's,
the other.
but they're getting that one reopened.
Yes, thank God.
Goodness. Thank goodness.
Yeah, and this little boy that they found like this, he was barefoot, and his feet were sparkling clean, like there's no dirt. But you went from your home through the backyard, which was kind of muddy, and did all this, and there's not one speck of dirt on your feet. No, somebody carried him there and put him in that position, and that's how I truly feel. Sorry.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mom. Good to see you.
The last update that I've seen on Sean was a year ago, and they said that there is now a high-powered legal team working on his case, having every single piece of evidence reviewed by legal, medical, forensic, and criminal professionals. They are optimistic that these findings will get them the traction they need or the case deserves.
Right.
So, but that was a year ago, and that's the last update.
Yes. And I hope that they do something with it. I truly do. That makes sense. She was murdered in Greenberg. Yes. Yeah. For them to call that a suicide too just blew my mind. I never did understand that, but hey, we have a lot of cases.
Props to her parents though for never giving up.
Yes. A lot of people.
Really.
Yeah, a lot of people have just accepted some of these things because they feel they have no power to do anything else. You know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely.
That would be awesome, Tomboy.
I heard Jag was supposed to. That's good. That's what I think. I said that. I think I said that, didn't I, Mama Bear? That they should have stepped in.
Maybe because they were right before this happened. I believe the mom had just gotten a promotion and they were getting ready to move to the Pentagon.
Yeah, that. Yeah, was it the mom? Yeah, it was the mother. It was the mother, right?
Because
you were right.
Both, Air Force,
right?
High up Air Force. I can't remember their titles, but.
And that was in Sean's case.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna look into that because I mean
I've probably going to cover it. We're probably going to cover it again soon because it hasn't been talked about for a while, and it just definitely needs to have some eyes on it and be heard about again, in my opinion. Arctic says, and now we need to reopen Crystal's case. Yes, agreed. Yep. Big time. And I pray that they do. That's true too. Ellen's parents have had to go through a whole lot. Yes, they have. They've been through hell and back multiple times.
It's been crazy.
I feel so bad for them. I agree. Mm-hmm. And I just never could get past that. When I covered her case and I pulled up the photos and we looked at everything, and I was like, how did you classify that suicide? No. And then you're questioning the people that did it, you know?
I think it's because some people have blinders on and they don't want to look the other way. They don't want to, I don't know if they just don't want to look the other way or just don't want to have more work to do. I don't know.
In that case, I'll be honest with you. I think it's because of who else is involved. I think there was some money involved and some power involved, and some people were pushing for other things and avoiding certain things because of her boyfriend. Yeah. And the power that his family had per se and himself and all this. And I think that's what got that pushed off to the side. Money talks. Exactly, Kim. And that bugged the hell out of me because it's kind of evident in my opinion, but hey, who am I? You know, I'm nobody. So, okay. Yeah. This is the case we were talking about with, Sean Daughtry. This one really, really got to me and Mama Bear both.
Thank you, Mama Bear, for that.
Yeah, that's his Facebook page for what happened to him. And
so cute.
Yeah, he was adorable. He was such a good kid. He was watching his brother that day, and that's the other thing. They found his little brother buried in a pile of clothes, like all overheated and freaking out and so on and so forth. And it's like, what the hell? The kid was doing what he was supposed to do. He was following his parents' instructions, being a good boy. Okay. He was a good kid. There's no two ways about it. had no reason to want to take his own life. He was getting a snack prepared. He was going to play a video game, and then this. And then the way they found him wearing his father's clothes and the underwear and things like that. Stepfather, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that. And it just is crazy. These things that just doesn't make sense. He was so cute. I feel so bad for his parents. I really do. And then remember that thing? Did you see that thing, Mama Bear, where the neighbor that lived next door to them had moved? And
it's in there.
What's that?
It's in that Facebook page.
Okay. Yeah, they moved and then they were raided and weird things like that.
Yeah. I never been able to get any information about who it was or what happened, or it just
right. Yeah, that's what my thought was too, was who his family was. I think my theory was that it was some kind of a warning or kind of a message. Remember that? That's what I came to. Yeah, it was a message or a warning. That's just my opinion, of course, but because of who his mother and stepfather were and where they were, that's my opinion. So I don't know. Hold on.
Jody.
Wow. Okay. Yes, Miss Jody.
But she's right.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
All right, guys, onward and I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was finally which this is wild. It's not anything that I don't think any of us thought about with Gene Hackman and his wife. They finally come up with a cause of death, which is something, like I said, I never thought of. I'll let you guys hear this real quick because I've had people talking about that too.
Thanks so much for being with us here on Live. Now, of course, this has been something that's been grabbing headlines since their bodies were discovered back on February 26th and the story broke. But again, the famous actor and his wife found dead in that New Mexico home. What more did we learn from officials today, Michael?
Hey, Christina, thanks for having me. I mean, I think you're exactly right. From the moment we learned about the circumstances surrounding the death of the Hackmans, it was an odd scene, and that's exactly what the sheriff's deputies said. And they said, that's why this really warrants a real hard look here. And let's figure out how Gene and Betsy Hackman died. And now we finally have some answers. So I think a lot of people, Christina, assume that two people and an animal and their German Shepherd dog, all three gone. This had to have been carbon monoxide poisoning, some sort of gas that
that was what I said the day that this happened. I told my wife, I said, that has to be CO poisoning. There's no other way. Anything makes sense. They rolled it out immediately. So that wasn't it, guys. That definitely, and even Hackman's daughter said it. I don't believe that. That has to be what happened. When you hear what this is, I never, ever even put that into my mind. I mean, with him, maybe, but with his wife, no. Like, and I knew about what it is, but I never would have thought that. You know what I mean? So
claim their lives, and it's not. So we now know that Betsy Hackman has died of something called hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. It is a rare but a very serious respiratory disease that usually or typically comes from rodents, mice, animals like that, Christina. It's unclear exactly how she got this disease, but it can be fatal in up to something like 50% of cases. And in Betsy's case, it was fatal. Now, it's impossible for the medical authorities to figure out or to pinpoint exactly.
Betsy had underlying medical issues. I talked to my mother about this too, just because I was curious. She's a nurse, and it is a rare thing that people can die from. But if you don't know you have it and you don't treat it, it's gonna get worse and worse and can become fatal, especially if you have underlying other medical issues. So
when she died, there's just no test that weeks after the fact is going to show that. But they do know through their investigating that she was last known to be alive on February 11th. So it's very possible that she actually died 7 days before Gene Hackman, who was dealing with an advanced form of Alzheimer's and might not have known what was going on, might not have been able to help himself in that situation.
And this is the saddest thing to me, and it makes me wonder. Because of the dementia, they were found in separate sides of the house. If the poor man had maybe didn't even realize, okay?
I was gonna say, did he even know?
And maybe he was looking for her. Okay, this is so sad to me. It breaks my heart hearing this. That he may not have even known, you guys, and that's horrible to me. It's just horrible. And I hope now that this has come out that people will leave them alone, stop putting out the ridiculous bullshit they've been putting out, and let these people rest in peace, truly. But yeah, this is something that I did not expect to hear, truly. So I'll let it play and stop interrupting, but I just wanted to say that too.
Christina. So again, it's possible his wife was dead and he was in that home for a week after. Now, how did Gene, die? We also have an answer there as well. So first things first, he had a pacemaker that had been installed. There was a heart activity on the 17th and there was not activity on the 18th. So it's safe to say that he died on February 18th. He died from a combination of hypertension, so essentially high blood pressure, combined with a plaque buildup in the arteries. Those two factors, along with his advanced form of Alzheimer's, is the cause of death for Gene Hackman. On both fronts, the authorities say there was no foul play here. These, in both cases, were natural deaths.
And if you think about the fact that maybe she obviously passed before him, he's got medications he has to take. If he's got Alzheimer's or dementia, he's not going to remember that. She was the main caretaker of him, and was doing a very good job at it. So if he wasn't taking medications he should have been taking to help with the situation he has for a week, okay, that could have caused an episode per se. And there we go. That makes perfect sense. And it's sad, but you know, and again, like I said, may not have even realized what happened with her, you know, and this is just heartbreaking. It really is to me. But there's the answers in my, people. I hope, again, I'm gonna say it again. I hope these people stop with the stupid shit that they put out about these two people. It's horrible.
So it's a tragedy, but still a strange case. But now, at least for the first time, we do have some answers.
And I think that's important. We have some answers because when the story first broke, so many people were speculating, as you said, was this carbon monoxide? Was there foul play? Did someone enter the home and even murder them? Those were certain things that were put out there on social media. But it was just interesting now that we've gotten the update that they did both die. But again, when it comes to the life that they lived there in Santa Fe, New Mexico as well, they were both very private people because they weren't found, even though they said Betsy could have been dead since February 11th, Gene since February 18th, weren't discovered still until February 26th, several days after.
Yeah, and that's one of the first things that came to my mind when I heard the ME speak today, because look, I don't think we know everything about her family situation or Gene's family situation and how often he talked to friends or talked to relatives. But it seems so unfortunate because you do get the feeling that perhaps something could have been done here to see Gene, although he was 95 years old, obviously was dealing with really serious medical issues. But perhaps something could have been done if somebody knew what was happening at the home in Santa Fe, or the dog that was in the kennel, was a German Shepherd dog in the kennel who could not feed himself, obviously, could not eat, could not get water. And you feel like perhaps something could have been different here. Like this didn't have to play out the way it did. But unfortunately, this is what happened. And now all three are gone, sadly.
And Michael, before I let you go, I want to talk about the pills that were also found next to Betsy. They were determined to be thyroid medication. I know that was initially a theory as well.
Yeah, I think people thought, look, if it's not gas here, could Betsy have taken her own life? But that wasn't the case. And when it came down to it, it was thyroid medication that really seem to have played no role in the death here. You're right, though, Christina. There were pills on the counter. There was a space heater on the ground. So it does seem like she probably went down to the ground and fell and, perhaps took the pills and took the space heater with her. But yes, from everything we know, from what the medical people are saying, those thyroid pills had nothing to do with her death.
Certainly. Again, a story that we're going to continue to follow here on Live Now from.
This is just sad, but like I said, there's answers, and hopefully that'll stop all the other crazy stuff. If it was a respiratory issue, she probably just went into respiratory arrest and collapsed right then and there.
I guess my only question is I know he was not well, but like, is it possible? Like, he had to have smelled it, right?
Well, I know with dementia and or Alzheimer's, your senses change. Things are different. Smell wise, I don't know. But again, did he go to that part of the house ever? Did he go over there? It's a pretty big house, so I don't know.
I was gonna say, was the house big enough that
it was huge? It was huge.
each side? Yeah. I mean,
Very
this is
big.
Gene Hackman we're talking about, so.
And they were on complete opposite sides of the house. He probably
And
had
there could have. I was gonna say, is there like a separate, like a door? Probably could have been
Probably.
separating. Yeah.
More than
Okay.
likely. I mean, it's a very beautiful house inside and out. He probably had his own little area that he stuck to, and that daily lived there. The sad part is if there was a nurse that would have come every so often to check on him and her too, to make
Yeah.
sure his health, it may have helped in this situation. You know what I mean? And
Right.
somebody could have seen maybe that she was sick with something. She probably thought she had a cold, Milo, or the flu or something, and never got treated for it, thinking it was going to go away. And in turn, it was this.
But what about
And-
the dog
Well, the dog was locked in a cage.
with
Probably
no
had-
food and water?
Right. Well,
Okay.
it was probably put away at one point. They were thinking the dog was going to be. They were
Well,
going to
it
get the
may
dog
have
out.
been like we did with hey Willie.
What's up, Willie?
With Ghost when we first got him, we didn't know how he would react during the night when we were asleep. So we
Right.
would put him in the crate at night. And that may have been what they did with him, being that he was
Exactly.
an older dog.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
that's
would
what we do.
normally let him out in the morning, but
Yeah, that's what
If
we do
he
with our dog.
wasn't, I mean, with his Alzheimer's, he could have forgotten to let him out.
Well, he may not even have realized because again,
Right.
completely separate sides of the house with dementia and stuff like that. He was probably
Thinking
in a-
that she's taking care of him. Yeah.
if even that, yeah. You don't think about some of those things.
That's just sad.
And that's true. Like Kim says, dementia changes everything in your mind. Even the things you smell, the way that you taste certain things, it just changes everything. My grandmother went through 10 years of it. It was horrible. And so yeah, he may have been reliving a different part of his life at that point, guys, when he was younger, because that's what my grandmother did. And wasn't even thinking about the things that were going on currently in his life. And it wasn't there like that. Now, the way they found him, it looks like he was trying to leave or do something. Maybe he was going to look for her because maybe it did come to mind that he hadn't seen her in a while and was wondering where she was. So, and plus where they're located, where that house is located at, it's possible that they did have a mouse issue. Okay. That went untreated, so on and so forth. And they pass things through their urine. We have mice here that come and go because of where I live at in the country. They like to urinate and leave fecal matter on different things where they've been, and you have to keep it clean and watch and things like that if they ever do it. So just saying, and that could be how she received what she got and left, like I said, left untreated or not even looked into. It's sad. It's very sad. Welcome, Miranda. Good to see you. Right. It's a horrible thing, Mountain Man. I know it is. To watch my grandmother become the person that she did. It's not something I'll forget ever. She was a very strong, very, very strong and very independent person, and it was just taught me so much, and it was such a wonderful woman. And the person she became is just completely unrecognizable. She reverted back to her younger days at some point, even as a child, and just was not who I knew as my grandmother. You know, it was really heartbreaking to see it happen. And when she finally passed, it killed a lot of our family members. But at the same time, we were almost kind of happy because she was suffering so much in so many different ways. If that makes any sense. Yeah, my grandmother was by herself for probably those 10 years because she had gotten away from a very abusive marriage she was in finally, and was actually enjoying her life. And then this kicked in, and hers was brought on because she was a recovering alcoholic. She had a really bad past in alcoholism, and the alcohol, they said, is what pushed it into effect per se. So I don't know. It's just a horrible thing. Anybody that goes through it or suffers with it, God bless them. It's not fun at all. And their families, same with them. Did Mikey come in here? There he is. What's up, brother? Good to see you, bud. So may they rest in peace, both of them. I hope, and prayers to their kids. And just hopefully everybody will leave them alone at this point, so that they know. Now everybody knows what it is. I heard some people get hantavirus from, because where they're stored, Cap, rodents, rats, mice, whatever, will urinate on those. Okay. And a lot of, because they travel through all that stuff. And if you don't, that's why people clean the tops of those cans. I always did. You wipe them off real good, make sure everything's off of them. People drink out of that, and that's all it takes. So that could have been what it is too, my Cap. Warehouses are known for rats and mice and rodents like that, and they travel through those areas, and very good process. Grocery stores, 100%. Absolutely, Miss Karen. Yeah, we've always cleaned those. I've done that since I was a kid. Anyway,
Well, Dago, I think I'm gonna jump down. I gotta get ready for work.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll listen for a little bit longer, but then I gotta get ready for work. So,
absolutely.
But thank you for bringing Tyler's case to the forefront today.
Absolutely.
And I'll probably be talking about it on Tuesday. So,
right.
I will. You guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.
You too.
Have a good night,
All
hon.
right. Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime, JC. Anytime. What time
Yep.
is it?
It is 2:26 your time.
Yes, I keep forgetting the time change thing. It's got me all screwed up today.
I know, right? We sprung forward last night, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right.
I'm gonna get an hour less sleep today.
It sucks. It does.
All right.
Suck.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye, hon.
All right.
All right. Don't we have a show for you coming up, Mama Bear?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the time change, and I put 2. Probably should have put 3.
So that being said, I think we can probably bring this to a close and head your direction if you're about ready for it, or are you not? Yeah. Okay. We didn't do a whole lot today, guys. It's just kind of to hang out and talk about some different stuff, but thank you guys for being here. But I do want to close this up so that we can head over to Mama Bear's channel and cover her show today, guys. And it's all going to be there.
It won't be long, so.
It doesn't matter. Still important. So thank you guys for joining us today. I really appreciate that. Let me see here. Where is it at? Nope. Hold on. There we go. Maybe you guys can just kind of beam yourselves over there. There's the link. Right there. For those of you that may not have it, there's the link. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you guys have had a great start to your day. I appreciate you doing it with us. And like I said, there's a link for Mama Bear's channel. Please hop on over and join us over there as soon as you can. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a great show as always. So thank you all. Don't forget to love yourselves, love each other. Don't change a thing. You guys are the beautiful people, and we will see you here very shortly. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.
See you in a minute.
Bye-bye.
Life's a journey, let's make every moment shine. Together we share, our hearts so intertwined. Each time you tune in, we're dancing in sync. With every story told, just let your soul think. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back, take a breath, leave your worries behind. This podcast is magic, a treasure you'll find. With every moment shared, we light up the way. Join us next time for more laughs and play. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back, take a breath, leave your worries behind. This podcast is magic, a treasure you'll find. With every moment shared, we light up the way. Join us next time for more laughs and play. So hit that subscribe, keep the vibe alive. We're riding this wave and it's set to thrive. With smiles all around, let's seize the day. In this podcast family, worries drift away. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. So gather round friends, it's time to reflect. In this joyful moment, what's next to connect? Let's cherish the laughter, the joy that we spread. Together we'll thrive until our hearts are fed. See you next time with stories anew. Can't wait to share more with all of you.